flick. Burn a flick.
All right. Well, we're back after a nice long week. We decided to talk about a movie again. Last week we were going over the movie Incendies
Yep.
by Denis Villeneuve.
Yep.
Great movie. Just to reiterate, I want to say, actually, I'll start out here.
Yeah.
We're here with Eugene and Jonah. I am Zach.
Yes,
And
you are.
this is Burn a Flick. To go back to it, we were talking about the movie Incendies by Denis Villeneuve. Great movie, and we were talking about a lot. And I want to say that I was definitely holding back a lot.
I kind of felt that. I
I-
kind of felt that you might have been holding back a little bit.
I was holding back a lot of like ideas, and to be honest, I was telling you about this on our way to Boston.
Yep. Yeah.
And I was looking, I was looking at Jonah, and Jonah was looking at me. I don't know if you were thinking that, but he looked at me as if like you're not really saying the full story here. I'm like, I agree, but I think we're past that, and it doesn't change my actual overall opinion, my rating of the movie. The movie was good.
Good.
But this week we're here talking about the movie.
This week we're uncensored.
We're uncensored, don't bleep me out, fucking censored here. We're talking about the movie Pan's Labyrinth, a nice 2006 fairy tale type movie of wonder by Guillermo Del Toro.
Yep.
What I love actually, if I want to start out here, right before watching the movie again, I wanted to watch it with my wife Hannah.
Yeah.
And we saw. I enjoyed it because of how old the previews were from 2006.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has the.
Oh, you guys watched it with previews?
I know. I watched the preview first.
Before watching.
Oh,
watching
okay.
it.
Okay, you watched the trailer for the movie.
Yeah, as I wanted her to see what it's like, and she's
Okay,
like, "Oh my God,
yeah.
it's creepy." Like, let's get this straight. Guillermo del Toro is a masterpiece. You know, he is himself a masterpiece. He creates masterpieces.
Yes.
He is a thinker he's a mind beyond minds when it comes to making ideas and things that are out of this world. You know,
Del Toro, you masterpiece, you.
you masterpiece del Toro. No, I mean he's I don't know.
He's a craftsman.
He's a craftsman.
He's definitely a craftsman when it comes to cinema. I can agree with that.
Yes, and what I'm going to say in the preview from the inner mind workings of Guillermo del Toro.
Is that really how it starts?
Oh, you know what? You know how movies were.
In a world.
Seriously, this
Yeah.
that's how they were back a long time ago.
Oh,
Now
wow.
they're
I
not
really want to watch this trailer now.
Now what I like
This
about
old-ass
yeah,
trailer.
we can actually talk. We can look it up later on. We
Yeah,
talk about
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do it now, we can do it now.
I don't give a shit.
Or maybe we should just get started. I'm not sure.
Let's get started.
Let's get started.
Yeah.
That's my spiel about that starting out. I would like to start off with the person who hasn't seen it first.
Okay, yeah. No. So I have never seen I don't think Jonah has seen it either. We were both going into it pretty blind. I saw the first like 10 minutes of it. I remember I was streaming it on one of those free movie sites back in like 2009, and I was streaming it and I was watching it and I'm like, this is interesting. And then something else happened and I stopped watching. I never came back to it. But now I watched the whole thing. I don't know if your experience is similar to mine, but I right off the bat, like I can tell that this is also going to be. It has the Guillermo feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like the camera work, the storytelling, it has a very classic. It's like classic storytelling. It's not trying to be cute. It's not trying to be like overly serious. It's not like Christopher Nolan with his darkness, or like it's not like or what am I trying to say? It's almost like I could tell that I was in for a very
Unique experience.
Guillermo experience.
Yeah.
A very Guillermo.
Yeah,
Ooh,
because my
Guillermo.
experience with Guillermo
Guillermo, you dog.
is so I've never seen Hellboy, but I saw Shape of Water
Mhm.
and I saw Crimson Peaks. Is it Peaks or Peak?
Peak.
I think it's Peak.
I saw Crimson Peak. I
Singular.
believe Crimson Peak was my very first Guillermo movie.
That you've really?
Yeah, and that movie came out like what 2015.
Yeah, not that long ago.
Yeah, that was my first. I mean, technically, it's like
here I am.
7 years ago. But
Silently judging.
But Crimson Peak was my first Guillermo Del Toro movie. I watched Crimson Peak, and then what did I watch after that? And then I watched, and my next one was Shape of Water, and then
Wow.
I saw Nightmare Alley. So like I know of Guillermo Del Toro. Oh wait, didn't he do Pacific Rim?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw Pacific Rim when that came out. So like,
Well, I think funny. Pacific Rim is like the least Guillermo-like movie.
Mm-hmm.
oh really?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
I think that's the least Guillermo experience it will get, and it's still good. It's still a decent movie, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it's pretty simple. Big monsters, big robots. They fight.
So I have a
You got
whole
what you came
I have
here
a
for.
whole
Yeah.
thing about Pacific Rim about how like I wanted it to be so much more, and like it just kind of teased what it could have been, and like it just left me super high and dry.
Like Transformers versus like Godzilla.
I wanted it
Yeah.
to be like more like Evangelion.
Really?
Yes, because like they kind of touch into like how like oh their minds need to meld and stuff, and like that's a really interesting concept. Like there's a lot of interesting places you go with this, and then like they didn't really go too far into it. Like they just kind of touched. Anyway,
Mhm.
that's Pacific Rim. That's Guillermo. We're talking about Pan's Labyrinth. I don't think when I first watched it on like some shitty quality streaming site back in 2009, I don't think I was able to understand, or like I wasn't able to grasp the captain character
Mhm.
as
Oh.
well. Cause like cause I don't think I gave the movie the attention it deserved while I was watching it for free online after like clicking out of a bunch of ads and stuff.
I didn't pay for this. I don't need to. I don't need to put my full attention on it because I didn't
So
waste
I
the
didn't
money.
give it its proper attention. But now sitting down on my couch, like watching it, like the captain character, I think he's the most interesting character in this entire movie. Cause I could not, the little girl, like she's a little girl, she's the main character,
Ophelia.
sure. She's not interesting. She's like a blank slate of childlike innocence that just gets dragged along this quest to be a princess or whatever. And like she's not interesting. The captain is interesting. And the captain, I think, like the actor for the captain, like the captain and Mercedes, the maid. I think those two are like the stars of this movie.
Yes.
In terms of acting, in terms of complexity, like they do so much more heavy lifting than everyone else. I guess like the mom kind of does a little bit of stuff, but like the mom kind of annoyed me, to be honest.
She was more in like in agony like throughout the whole movie
Yeah.
Yeah.
until her, untimely death.
Yeah.
But she's also, but not, I don't even like in the beginning,
Mhm.
like she's super naggy. Like she nags her for reading fairy tales. And I'm like, what kind of mom are you? Like, let her read, you know?
You know, she's like she's 10, 12 years old. Let her leave her alone, mom. Jesus.
Well, I think
Just a
that
phase, right?
that goes into that whole thing with like how you grow up and you don't believe in those fairy tales, and
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie, Philly is like, no, these things are real. Like I'm literally seeing these things right now. Like, why don't you guys believe me?
I was confused about that because obviously, like the audience, we see it, but like I'm thinking, like, is this real?
Right.
I think
is-
that's up for your interpretation.
Because they don't really. Because do you remember that one shot near the end where like she is talking to the fawn or something,
And then he comes in after
and
the
he
maze.
comes in, the captain comes in,
and he's there.
and he doesn't see the fawn.
Mhm.
So like, what
I think it's what you choose to believe.
I know it leaves it very open because clearly, like these fairy tale magic creatures, they have a tangible effect on the
Yes.
real world.
It's some real Polar Express shit.
Actually, I had a weird
believe.
idea about that. You know how at the end, he's there while the fawn's there, and he can't
Yeah.
see him,
Yeah.
right? And then at the end, like I don't want to ruin the end because if we talk about the end right now, like you guys can go away, no one hear us anymore. You heard the end.
The movie came out in 2006. I'm sure most people have seen it.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't,
If you haven't,
if you're listening to this and you care to watch it, then you probably haven't seen it by now. I mean,
Yeah, that or if you listen to our last podcast,
yeah.
you should know that you should have already watched it.
Yes.
By now.
Do your homework.
you have
people,
been.
right?
We briefed this. Yes.
All right, so
You were saying.
yeah, I was saying like at the end, she gets shot by the captain, and
Yeah.
she's there laying, dying.
Yes.
And then it goes to the world where she's back as the princess,
Yeah.
waiting to go back to her throne next to her father and mother. And then it goes back to her just dead.
Yeah.
She's dead. She didn't actually, in my opinion, like thinking like, did she in her mind go there for the rest of her life?
Yeah.
But in real life, she's dead, and she believed those miracles, or her soul went through the portal,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It really leaves it open.
right?
Yeah.
And my only explanation to meaning that this was real was the fact. It sounds weird, and maybe
Yeah.
off the wall. When she's running from the captain in the labyrinth, I will say not maze.
Oh yeah.
The-
She draws the chalk.
She draws the chalk and she goes through, or no, the
Oh no, sorry, not the chalk.
the
I think
the
it just
labyrinth opens up
Just
and she
opens up
walks
for
through
her.
and
yeah, the
closes.
trees and the
then
vines.
Mhm.
You see the feel from the movie The Shining, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Jack Nicholson's
definitely
character.
what I was thinking.
He's like, oh, where'd she go?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna find a different way. And, he found a different way
Yeah.
eventually, and killed her. But like, that's what I'm thinking. It opened up for her, or maybe she just went right through.
Maybe well, again, like no one sees the vines and the trees and the hedges open up for her.
Mm-hmm.
She
No.
sees that. No one else sees that. It might have just been like, oh, she
Went right through.
was able to get away from him, or went right through, or she crawled underneath, or she did something else. But it does things like that in the movie. It definitely like straddles that line between like what's real and what's like perceived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I watched the interview with Guillermo
Yeah.
talking about like the same thing with like getting older and not believing in certain things or believing in whatever you believe in,
Yeah.
and how fairy tales as a kid, it's like, oh yeah, that stuff's real as anything else, and like when you grow up, it's like, no, those things are definitely fake, like without a doubt. But he was saying, like looking at like the border between like Mexico and the United States,
Mhm.
we know there's a border there
Yeah.
because that's what it is. But a aerial view of the land, it's just one piece of land. It's just that's what it is.
Mm.
You can't see a border.
Yeah.
You can't see that there's not fairy tales there.
Yeah. Unless we build a wall.
Unless you build a wall.
Then we
Unless-
can see, yeah.
then-
Someone should really build a wall. Someone should get
What
on
if
that.
we built a wall made of natural rock? Therefore, it's naturally
A natural border.
an unnaturally natural
An
border.
unnatural border.
A
An
great,
natural
Natural
border.
the Great Wall.
A great wall
Is-
of stone.
the greatest, the hugest,
The hugest. We have the best rocks. We have the best stones.
imported from other countries. Though.
Yeah. But sorry, we got so away from what we're that was a whole thing.
Well,
Yeah.
What was your point?
no. I got your point.
Yeah.
I got your point.
Sorry, I'm stupid. Can you say it again?
Yeah. So like,
Shorter.
long story short,
Yeah.
you grow up,
Yes.
you realize there's those borders. You realize it's not fantasy, fairy tale, because those aren't real.
Okay.
But, you at one point in your life, you did think that, oh, there was, whatever you thought, whatever folklore or fairy tale you were into.
Yeah.
Like, oh, those things are definitely real. Like, there's leprechauns out there.
Oh yeah, there are.
Yeah.
And then you get older and
Just
Okay.
either forget or
Huh.
move on.
It's true.
so I really like that this fantasy world is in stark contrast with the harsh reality of World War II.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To get there, this movie is based in 1944, World War II.
Yeah.
Spanish Civil War.
Spanish Civil War. Spain itself is actually not even part of World War II at this point, but it has
Yeah.
its
But-
own internal.
But
issues.
fascism is super fashionable during this
well,
time. so, yeah.
Francisco Franco?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
The
Somebody.
Spanish dictator.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's this land that's occupied by the Spanish government. The Spanish what was I saying?
Like the new regime.
The regime, yes.
Yeah.
Their new regime and
Fascists.
the fascists, yes. There's the Spanish Spanish initial Hitler, yes.
Yeah. Spanish Hitler.
Yeah, Spanish Hitler.
Franco.
Spanish Nazis.
Spanish Nazis, exactly.
They do look like their uniforms are very Nazi.
Yeah, I was looking at the pants.
Yeah.
The pants and how they have those little open. They they look big wide hips.
Yeah, poofy.
Poofy.
Yeah.
All right, so starts out Ophelia with her mom. Ophelia is the main character. She is the soon-to-be princess with
I
her
don't
mother.
like Ophelia, but continue.
It's okay. I agree. Like,
I think that's a child actor thing.
it is probably. But
No, I don't think so. I think Ophelia, the character, she just sucks. Like she's 11, all right? She's not like 6 or 7. She should have something of a brain. Like when I think of like an 11-year-old, like I think of when I was 11. Like I was a kid, but I wasn't retarded. And like I don't know. Like she like for example, she crawls into the tree to find the toad, and her plan is to leave her dress hanging on a windy branch. Like, what the fuck did you think was gonna
you
happen?
knew how important that
Like,
dress was to your mother.
why would you even go out into the woods wearing that? Why not just put on some working clothes and go out? Like, why do all that? Like, and even before she takes the dress off, she looks at her shoes and she sees that she ruined her shoes.
Mm.
And she's like, "Oh, I fucked up. I ruined my shoes." And and her plan after that is to take her shoes off and go in barefoot. Like she's not gonna put her shoes back on when she comes back. Like I don't know. This child is very infuriating.
I think it was more just like that wasn't important to her at the time. Like those things didn't matter, and what she was after was the key. But you're about to say something.
Oh, no, actually, you're right there too. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, at this point, I'm gonna be a princess. I can get away from this pain and suffering that I've known my entire life so far.
But she clearly cares about it because
Because her mom cares, I think.
yeah, because she brings the dress back, right, with like a sad look on her face.
she's wearing it. She was
Yeah, exactly. She brings it back, and like she's clearly not happy about the state of her dress. So it clearly shows that she, on some level, cares about the dress, but she's too stupid to plan to not fuck up the dress. So like it doesn't make sense. Like that's super annoying to me. Like because I wasn't that stupid as a child, and I don't think any of us. Maybe like if I was like 7 or 8, but like 9, 10, 11. This kid, I'm pretty sure this kid is 11.
I don't know. Kids can be pretty dumb.
This is true. I don't know.
and she's just also thinking about
But
the wonders of becoming a
wouldn't you
princess.
think like a child growing up in like World War II she came from the city and the city was all like probably bombarded and shit. Like she must have had to undergone some sort of rapid maturation due to the realities and horrors of war that surround her. Like her dad died. Like it bothers me that within this context this girl is so fucking stupid. That bothers me. Maybe if like we were growing up in modern day where like everyone is like more quote unquote pampered, like you can run into a 11 or 12-year-old that's absolutely fucking retarded. Yes, that I can believe that. But in World War II, when like your parents are dying and like you're seeing dead bodies in the street, your city's getting shelled, you have to run away to the villa because your mom married this horrible like fascist officer, and you have to deal with the fact that he's awful. Like, how are you not more mature due to these awful things happening to you? Does that do you guys see where I'm coming from? Like,
Yeah, I mean, they
yeah.
say that hard times create stronger, smarter people.
And this little girl just bothers me. I like I liked her in the beginning because how can you not like her in the beginning? She's a very inquisitive child. She likes fairy tales. She is a little bit rambunctious. She doesn't always follow the rules, and I'm like, hell yeah, I can relate to that. But then she just makes dumber and dumber decisions. And if we could talk more about her eating off the table, that was the seal for me. That was the final straw. Like her eating off the table, I was like, "You're done. I hate you forever."
Let's think about it though.
But
Those grapes look like they'd be slapping.
Oh yeah, like
it's true. I
that
mean,
also pissed me off too. Like especially like her decision there. We're gonna talk about that. Her
not
decision
even-
there cost the life of two.
not even just that. The fairies were like, "Don't
Bro,
do it."
Whoa, what are you doing? Stop.
Like and she was just like, "Nah, fuck you, fuck you."
Not only that, but like her situational awareness, not to hear like something like shuffling in the background, because I bet that room was probably pretty quiet.
yeah.
To hear that thing not get up and shuffle over
Right?
to her.
I think. Well,
Oh my god, that scene. That scene. Like my wife. Hannah
God.
hated it because like, it's gross. So it's the funny thing.
yeah.
A big not motif, but actor used in a lot of Guillermo Del Toro movies is Doug Jones.
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones played the Fawn and the what's it called? What's the name of the character? The Pale Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He played both of them. He played the monster in The Shape of Water. He played Abe Sapien in both Hellboy movies.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Jones is a very big part of Guillermo del Toro's like movies. Huge. And the thing is, he doesn't. He's a body actor.
Yes,
he doesn't speak.
He's very good at menacingly walking towards things.
But he doesn't. He does the movements, but he doesn't actually do the voices.
Okay, all right.
Like in Spanish, I don't think Doug Jones actually knows how to speak
I
Spanish.
really love.
So he learned his lines in Spanish for this movie. That voice isn't him. They did a voiceover, but he didn't want it looking like some.
the
bad,
jaw
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
match the voice.
He didn't want it to look like some bad Godzilla movie. So
True.
Okay, I could respect that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
1970s dubbed over.
Mhm.
Talking about the monsters, like I love the design of everything. Like even the shitty 2006 CGI, like I was like, these are really well designed.
What do you want to talk
And-
about? The Pale Man?
The pale man. Sure, we could talk about the pale man.
I had
So
such a funny joke from when I first watched this movie. My uncle.
yeah.
We'll get to that. You go.
Okay, so obviously, like walking into this banquet scene with this like pale monster man at the end of the table, still, you know for a fact that he's gonna play into whatever chaos is gonna ensue
Mhm.
in this whole sequence.
By the way,
you know what's happening.
He's faceless.
Mhm.
And he has a mouth, no eyes, and like there's these like jelly bean looking things like in his plate,
Mhm.
and like maybe I think I didn't really recognize it at first, but I think subconsciously I was like, oh, those are probably his eyes. Like he probably pops them in his head or something. But yeah, when Ophelia does the thing where she completely operates out of procedure.
Yeah, completely against what
Yes,
the Fawn told her.
ignores all cautions notes. She does all the things that she is not authorized to do, and this monster wakes up. And
Bro, did you eat my grapes, man? Bitch, did I tell you can eat my grapes?
I got a whole family to feed here, and you're gonna eat my food, really?
you know what I did really
I'm going to eat 2 of your fucking fairies.
You know what I love though? Because like in the beginning when she walks in and she sees the murals
Mhm.
of this monster, and like the murals I think are so interesting because like it tells a horrific story of what this guy does. He eats
Those are his family photos, honestly.
he eats children.
Yeah.
And like there's one of him like stabbing this guy through the chest, and like this guy's terrifying.
Mhm.
And That part was super effective.
This is-
Amazing, effective storytelling and like just scene setting right there.
Yeah, detailing his 9 to 5 and
And then she's like, I don't know. I don't know how to read. Except for I watch and read these fairy tale books on a daily basis, but I can't understand these murals of this actual fairy tale murdering people like me.
Understand the danger that's in the room. Like that, how I would, if I was a child, I'd be terrified. I would have like out the corner of my eye, I'd be looking at that thing all day long. As I would not turn my back to that thing
Like, come
ever.
on, you're not that hungry to forget the
If
fact that you
I was a
should eat it.
child, I would be like, this guy can literally eat me, and I'm scared, and I'm keeping my eye on him. Like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like
Yeah.
even when she turned her back, I'm like,
what are you
"Wow,
doing?
Yeah, I
what do you
wouldn't do that. I
No,
wouldn't
this
do
is a
that."
bad horror movie. Turn around.
Okay, so she against obviously we can talk about this all day against the wishes. No, wait, not the wishes, but the express like
Instruction of the fawn.
of the El Fawn, right?
Yes.
To not eat anything or else you will die. Grave danger.
Yeah.
You could be killed, and everybody you love. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna eat it. No, she doesn't.
She
do
just
that.
doesn't give a shit.
She's like, out of all the food, she wants to risk her life for a fucking grape, for one thing.
I truly do not understand that choice.
Was it a
from
grape?
Guillermo.
It was a grape.
It was.
Okay.
She made more than one. She
Mhm.
had one, and she was like, "Let's do it again." Like that's.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the fairy's like, yo, stop.
the fairies were fucking freaking out.
And she's swatting them away.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter.
Um.
All the while, right behind her, while she's swatting them away,
Yeah. This
this
guy is
motherfucker
just
is
emerging.
his hands are laying flat on the table, and then the first thing is his hands pop up.
Yes.
His hands pop up. And he grabs the eyeballs.
You can see the space in his
Mhm.
hand
Yeah.
where an eye
Lol.
would, and like as soon as you see that, you're like, oh my god, that's what's going on. That's what this
eyes
is.
are in his hands.
And he fucking
The-
yes, he does the whole like he brings the hands to his face and like his eyes are like on the palm. It's so creepy.
Yeah, and like makes you wonder, like,
It's
how does this guy wipe his own
fucking
ass?
nightmare
Mhm.
fuel.
How does he wipe his own ass though? Like, does he keep his eyes closed? Or... oh, geez.
And yeah, no, it really like that really I don't know what is the purpose. I really this is a sort of disappointing take that I have on this scene. Disappointing for me in that like I'm disappointed in Guillermo Del Toro. I feel like the only reason she eats from the table is so that Guillermo Del Toro can show off the monster. Like I kind of feel like that's the whole point. Like, oh, I have this great monster idea, but like how do I show him off? I'm like, oh, let's have her disobey so that the monster gets up, or like I can show off this. Like he really wanted to show off this monster. I feel like that's why she ate from the table because it doesn't make sense for her to eat from the table.
I feel like partially that might be the reason. But that other part, going back to you saying like she's not the smartest kid on the face of the earth,
Yeah.
I think she's not the smartest kid on the face of the earth. I think she's just like, maybe that fawn was like,
Oh, he's bullshit.
he's just bullshit.
He's only a walking
These-
fawn.
These
talking
grapes
Spanish speaking.
look fucking phenomenal, and I'm gonna sit here and eat every last one of them.
I don't know, maybe.
Again, this movie is in Spanish, by the way. If whoever has not seen it,
Oh yeah, it's in Spanish. Boom.
so or
Um.
maybe they're like it wasn't said, but the idea of, hey, when you walk in this room, you're gonna feel like you want to eat these things.
It didn't feel like
No,
there was
it
like
wasn't.
any external temptation. Like it's not like the One Ring where it's like calling to you. Like it's not like the food was like actively tempting her. She was just I don't know. I'm trying to think to the scene of like her character and like her character's body language and like how she eventually came to the decision like internally to eat off the table. Like
So
it wasn't a lot of fanfare. They didn't really like bring a lot of attention to it, did they?
So think about like, have you ever been to like family parties or anything like that? And you
Okay,
see like
yeah.
little kids running around, and they're constantly grabbing shit off like the snack table or whatever table.
They're not 11-year-olds though. Like 11-year-olds are like,
Like, hey, I'm gonna grab this food.
yeah.
I think they're constantly eating. I don't know.
I feel like we're in because I distinctly remember when I was 11, and like I I didn't like doing stupid kiddie shit.
Well,
I wanted to play like video games
they
and
were
watch
also
rated
like
R movies.
they
Like
were
that's
also
what I wanted to do when I was 11.
they're also doing like heavy rations within the camp.
Okay, yeah.
So
So
she might not have had access to like fresh like fruits and
okay.
things like that. So like these grapes are probably like, man, I haven't had a grape in a hot minute.
That grape's looking
There-
at me all funny.
So
Yeah.
I really like that you brought up the rations
hmm
because I was listening to a podcast about this movie, and this one guy had a really interesting theory about the whole dinner scene that the captain has with like the people in the village, where he's talking about the rations and shit, and like and the scene with the pale man where he's at the head of the table and he has all this food on the table that nobody's eating, and he is the sole proprietor of, he is the sole protector of all these foods, and how it kind of parallels the captain being at this dinner table, but he holds all the ration cards in his hand, and he holds all that food and sustenance, and it is up to him to give it out to people that he decides, and you're not allowed to take from the table unless you have like the captain's like
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
I
Rest in peace.
yeah, that whole
Willie.
theory, I thought that was very interesting. But I don't
Actually,
really
yeah.
know what it means though. Like, what do you guys think of that theory?
Saying like if like yeah like the world that she lives in mirrors the world that she was previously in.
Okay.
Maybe. I honestly I could have definitely put together some sort of like argument or idea. I don't know if I can put it in words because I do understand the concept.
Yeah.
I do understand that. I really do. And I guess yeah, maybe the pale man himself is the captain, but himself, he kills people. He gets what
Yes.
he wants.
Eats babies.
He eats babies, I mean, his captain, I mean, I'm sure he has, Oh my god,
What?
we went over like a seriously crazy brutal kill in the beginning of the movie.
The bottle.
The bottle.
What?
Yo. So
Wait, what?
the bottle scene.
The bottle scene.
What are you
You know,
talking
The
about?
bottle that didn't break when he caved some dude's face in.
Oh, okay. With the two guys who were hunting like foxes or whatever.
yeah.
Rabbits. Okay, no. Yeah. You want to talk about it?
Is that am I bad for going off on a tangent here?
No. What? No. I want to talk
right.
about that. Let's talk
Okay.
about that.
So he's talking to his wife. His wife is like sick.
Yes.
And then he is bothered by his men. It's late at night, and his men capture these two people who were, they thought they were stealing something. They thought they were trying to run away or had some stuff. And then they kept saying, like, "No, sir, we told them we were hunting rabbits." And the guy said, there's a father and a son. The father says, "No, we're hunting rabbits, and this is what we have. We got to show you." And then
Yeah.
and then the son says, "Sir, with all due respect, my father says we were hunting rabbits, and he was hunting rabbits."
Yeah.
And then the captain just grabs his bottle with I have a basket, and then goes to this dude and just smacks him like hard as fuck right into the face
Yeah.
with
Several times.
with the bottle. Then grabs his head and starts
Beating
a
ever
hole,
living shit out
a
of this guy's.
wine-sized bottle-sized hole in his face.
Yeah.
And then proceeds, the guy's, on the ground dying. He shoots the father,
Yeah.
and then as the father goes down,
Twice. No, more than
Twice.
twice. He empties his clip
yes.
into him.
And the thing is, right? They look inside
the
the
bag.
bag. There are rabbits. It's like, next time you're gonna bother me, check make sure you check them properly. Before
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
And right before leaving, you see the son is still alive.
No, he executes the son.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. He does it afterwards.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying you see the son holding his caved-in face.
Yes.
Because he didn't get his brain.
Yeah.
He just fucked up his face beyond all repair.
Yeah.
And that is like seeing him that is the beginning what you see of his brutality. That is the beginning of what you see as brutality.
I agree, but I think the movie kind of hints at his brutality pretty early on, and in the first sliver of character you see of the captain is when Ophelia and his mom are coming in the car, and you see the captain's. You don't even see his face. You see his like arm and like his watch, and he checks his watch, and he's like, "They're late." And like right off the bat, you're like, "This guy's a dick."
This guy's
his
cold and calculated.
Yeah, this guy's a he's a dick. His wife is pregnant. She's coming all this way out of the city. Like, he should be happy to see her. And like the first thing he says is, "They're late." Like, fuck this guy. So like right off the bat, I knew this guy was a dick. And I was just waiting for the movie to tell me like exactly how much of a dick he is. And like but
They're late and tell me how much of a dick he is.
that scene, like, I really think Guillermo loves to take the violence to 11 in scenes where you wouldn't expect the violence to be taken to 11.
It's like heavily contrasted.
Yeah.
You would expect violence, but not like that far on.
Yeah, like I don't, me personally, like, it doesn't add anything to the movie. It's kind of like Nightmare Alley. Like the violence in Nightmare Alley, like, let's say the violence in Nightmare Alley was toned down to like a 6. Like, would it change the movie? Not really.
No.
Not really. The movie would be the same. It'd be the same movie. The violence, I don't know what Guillermo's obsession is with like hyper realistic violence. But he does it in a lot of his movies. He did it in Crimson Peaks. I keep saying Peak. He did it in Nightmare Alley. He did it in this movie. I don't remember if he did it in Shape of Water. I don't remember Shape of Water.
There was like gory scenes.
Did he like scratch up Michael Shannon's face or something?
He cut his fingers off.
Okay, that's what happened.
Bit his fingers off and spit them out. And then over time, Michael Shannon, he tried to reattach his fingers, but like his fingers were dying.
Oh,
They're getting black. They're falling apart. So one day,
gross.
he's like gets sick of it. He rips his fingers off completely. He's like, I don't care. He's putting his dead fingers in his wife's face while it's bleeding all over him.
Jesus.
Yeah, like that's the kind of stuff.
But it doesn't add
unnerving,
anything to the
uneasy
story. Like, for also the captain, when he was, there's that long scene where it shows his like Joker half smile.
Oh, the Glasgow smile.
Yeah, like exactly the Glasgow smile thing. But like, I don't understand why he wants to show that other than for pure shock value. And I'm like, I feel like Guillermo doesn't need to rely on shock value. He's a good director. Like, he doesn't need to have this in his movie because, yeah.
I personally think it's pretty important in this movie, at least. I don't know about any of his other movies like Nightmare Alley, but
yeah.
I think it's to show that heavy contrast because you have this little girl that's in a fairy tale, and fairy tales are, for the most part, pretty
PG.
Yeah. But like, it's stuck in this real wartime reality where they're literally on like a front line, like in a moment's notice, they're off to go fight like these rebels in the hills.
Yeah.
And then they're back to eat dinner and, scold his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give him my son.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that. That contrast, I could see that it'd be pretty important.
I like how we talked about how the captain is a big hitting character. We talked about that
To
Mercedes.
me personally, I don't know how
No,
he
I
is to you
think
guys,
you're 100% correct there. To be honest, I think they should be regarded as the stars in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, child actors don't get regarded as stars in movies anyway.
She's not good in this movie.
No, it's her first movie, and like
it's not an excuse. Because like, think about other child actors whose like first big roles. Like, I'm thinking of like, you guys seen Logan, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The little girl in Logan, she was amazing. She was straight up amazing, and that was her first. And Stranger Things, like all those kids in Stranger Things, they were mostly like no-name actors whose like first big break was Stranger Things, and like they were all really good. So like
Daniel Radcliffe and
people,
Harry Potter.
like kids don't have an excuse to be shitty actors. They can totally be amazing. So if you're shitty, then I'm sorry, you're shitty.
How dare you?
And this girl, I was not sold on this girl. But I don't want to talk about the girl right now. I want to talk about the captain. And specifically, that scene that you talked about, because like I feel like that scene was constructed to show how bad and like badass and brutal the captain is, but the very end when he kind of puts it on his soldiers, saying like, "You made me do this.
you
You
guys-
did not do your due diligence to research what the fuck these guys' motivations were. Check their fucking bags next time." And
It feels like he also wanted to do that. He didn't really have to go that far at all. He could have just done it.
you're right, but I don't think because like, why would he say that if he didn't if he didn't have a code? Like he clearly lives by a certain code. Because if he didn't, then he wouldn't have said that shit at the end to his soldiers. He wouldn't have cared that they were actually, hunting rabbits. He wouldn't have given a shit. He would just want to kill things because he's a sadistic, mindless killer. However, he is not a sadistic, mindless killer. He has a code. He lives by a code. And obviously, within the confines of his code, if you are going to be an object of his wrath, he will fuck you up. But like he still has that framework of a code to work within to start out with. And I think that gives his character a little bit more depth. He's not the cartoonishly evil guy that like a lot of movies might have. He's not like he is definitely over the top with his violence. But because of the fact that like he displayed a little bit of nuance with his reasoning as to like, hey, check their fucking backs. Like there's a reason why he said that, and I think that makes him a little bit more interesting.
This would be a lesson to you guys, not the guys who just killed, obviously. Lesson learned.
I think
You made me do this.
He's trying to live up to his father's legacy for the most part.
The father, yes.
Because like at dinner, like one of the whatever who is he having dinner with, like a captain or another captain? Or
Yeah,
I don't exactly
some
remember.
other official. He was like, yeah, your dad, right before he died, he smashed his watch, and he died like really honorably or something like that. And he's like, well, my dad didn't have a watch, so
Yeah, I don't know why he denied it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think,
it's very interesting.
he was like fixing a watch the entire movie. And probably
He was
his
Oh,
watch.
no,
he
that
was,
was-
he was
that was-
checking his watch.
100% his father's watch. 100%.
That or a brand new watch.
Why
and-
was he denying it?
and-
Yeah, why was he denying? I don't know.
know.
Maybe it hits too close to home. Maybe he wants to keep that
He had
piece
daddy.
of his.
Might have daddy issues.
100% has daddy issues.
Because he wants his son. He wants to like, oh my god.
And
Yeah,
he wants his son
and-
to have daddy issues.
there's something
Yeah,
weird
and
about
like
that.
I think that's exactly it. He wants to live up to his father's perception of masculinity. Like his father died in battle, and like the way he went out was, remember me, like how I died. And near the end of this movie, like this captain, like he tells the rebels, like, tell my son, like yada yada yada. And then like as a final fuck you, they're like, your son won't even know your name, and they fucking shoot him.
Oh, his face.
Yeah.
Priceless.
Priceless.
Yes.
That was like the best part. I think one of the best parts of the movie right
Chef's
there.
Really,
kiss.
you really think we're gonna respect you and your wishes? Fuck you. You killed you killed our family. You
Yeah.
almost killed my brother. Mercy, that guy he tortured. You saw his hand. His mangled up.
Oh,
hand.
the stuttering guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he tells him, I will let you. My word is my bond. And
Yeah.
my word, I mean my word. And he does.
Yes.
It's like, if you can count 3 without stuttering, I'll let you go, and nobody will question me.
You know this guy's gonna fuck up. Like,
Oh,
you know
dude, like,
for a fact. You're
because
just
that's the
waiting
fear.
for it. And
The
you're
guy's
just like, oh
so-
no.
He's like, he's so serious that he's gonna fuck it up.
Yes.
That he's willing to bet him. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you free. Seriously, like goodbye.
That's more than physical. That's psychological torture too.
That's
And that-
psychological warfare.
yes.
It's destructive. And that, honestly, if I was put in that position, after this guy told me that these, we're going to get to know each other like bonds, we're going to get like brothers. After I get to this, you're going to tell me everything.
Oh
And
my
then once I
God.
get to this, you can tell me anything and I'll believe you.
I
We're going
think
to be like brothers.
in the podcast that I was listening to about this movie, like one of the podcasters, they're saying that like it's really off-putting that the captain had this speech like to go right out the rip. Like he walked in and he had the speech ready. Like
As if he's done this before.
He's won. Yes, as if he's done this before. Exactly. Yes.
And he also almost says it a second time. Remember
When?
when he catches Mercedes
Oh yeah, yeah.
before the shit goes down.
I want to talk about her. I feel like she is the second mother figure in this movie. Like you have two conflicting mother figures in this movie, and the main character, the Ophelia, she kind of turns out to be a little bit of both at the end. Um, so like obviously you have like her mom, like her real mom, and her real mom is like more of a subservient, like practical, like I have to marry this awful guy so that like I can have a stable life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just fucking listen to him and I'll just do whatever he says.
Push through life.
Better to be on the right side of fascism, I guess. At the time.
And like it's definitely tragic on her end. But at the same time, it paints her in a bad light. But she clearly loves Ophelia. She is trying her hardest to be in her mind the best mother that she could be in these awful times. And I don't resent her for that. I don't think the character is like she's not an evil character. She's just a victim.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, with Mercedes' character, she is a fighter. She is also kind of doing the thing where like she is playing into the subservient role, but it is not for survival. It is for it's for rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's doing the whole spy thing. And like at obviously later on, she is able to rebel not just in terms of like clandestine operations, but she physically fights the captain.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how when they leave her alone with the captain, the guards are like, "Oh, do you want us to stay?" And he's like, "She's a woman.
Yeah.
You guys can leave. You're good."
You guys are
like
Toxic.
she's a woman.
Toxic
what
masculinity.
could she possibly do? She's a woman. And then like
no,
and then
she does what she could
stabs the
possibly
shit
do.
out of him.
I don't like how she just let him live.
I thought that was
Like, come on.
weird.
For the sake, the plot armor. That's what it was.
Okay,
obviously.
yeah. Which is unfortunate.
It's his super strong plot armor. It only lasts him at least one more scene. but come on, like she had the drop on him. He was on his knees. You had a knife in his mouth.
I was waiting for the knife to like. I thought they were gonna. Did they show it? They didn't show it. Did
The
they?
knife?
The knife cutting his cheek. They
Kinda.
showed the knife in the cheek.
I think they cut away.
Yeah,
cut away.
I feel like they cut it. Which is weird.
I don't
Feel like,
I don't
that
think
would
he
be a
had.
little taboo. Like
don't think
actually
he-
showing.
I don't think he had his watch on him during
Oh.
that scene. So I don't know if that was like supposed to like be his thing because like right before he died, he checked his watch, and that's when he checked his watch, told him like, "Hey, tell my son about me,"
Yeah.
because he knew he was about to die like right then.
Oh.
So maybe that was not his moment to die.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That should have been our.
Oh.
I'd have to rewatch that. I definitely would not have caught that. I was not looking for any sort of watch during that scene. I was just waiting for her to stab him in his fucking face. Like that's or slit his throat or kill him, end him anyway.
Stabs him 3 or 4 times and then cuts his mouth open.
Yeah.
Gives him the Joker. You want to know how I got these scars? And what? She's leaving. They recaptured her, right? Or no?
Yeah, I think they No, I think she got away.
Yeah.
She ran away. She ran away. He sent like all his dudes after her, and then they all chased after her, and then like she was in the woods, and then the rebels saved her.
Yeah, the rebels killed her and his entire like posse.
Yep.
And she stayed alive, and that's when they took over. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's when this was the climax, obviously, of the film.
Yes.
It was definitely the last 15 minutes. I remember when I was watching the movie. It was like almost 1 a.m. I was about to go to bed, and I'm like, got like 15 minutes left in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, keep it going.
Going back to what I was saying about like the two mothers and like how Ophelia is like a hybrid of those two.
Mhm.
Ophelia, she definitely rebels. She is that part of like Mercedes has definitely like, you could see a little bit of that rebellion in her, but she's not violent. She never chooses violence, or she tries not to. And like at the very end, we see that she rebels against the fawn. The fawn wants her to sacrifice the baby.
Not even. He literally just asked just 2 drops of blood. He didn't even try to.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Just 2 drops of blood. That's all I'm asking. Like, and you're really willing to risk everything? Like, come on.
But she doesn't trust him. That's how protective she is of this baby. Like that's, and sorry,
I didn't trust him.
Me neither.
No,
The
of course
fawn.
Yeah.
I from the get go, I'm like, this guy is so creepy.
I mean, think about it. Mercedes said, like, my mother told me never trust a fawn.
I forgot about that.
She said
That's
that.
good point.
But in reality, at the end, he's
Yeah.
like, you do trust him. He's right. Like he's.
Is he though? Is he though?
Up for
Because like he wanted the child, and she refused to give it to him, and in the end, the prophecy was technically fulfilled because the blood of an innocent was spilled. And obviously her after death scene vision, or maybe it was like a real thing of her soul going, but whatever the case, she got to experience princess status in that
For their words, she made the right choice by
yes
sacrificing herself, not
yes
her brother.
yes. So yeah, I thought that was a nice, I guess, middle road path that she took, like between like her mother and Mercedes. She's kind of like a mix of both. Yeah.
There's another big character. 2 things we're missing out.
What?
Big character, the doctor.
Oh yeah, the doctor.
And we can talk about that one. And the mandrake root.
Is the mandrake a character? It's more of a prop.
Sorry, I don't mean character.
Yeah.
I meant scene wise or
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
development.
let's
It's
talk
a
about it.
motif. You know, let's talk about that first. But the doctor, the mandrake was keeping her mom alive.
Yeah. Well, supposedly,
magically.
like
Magically, think about
like-
it. Like
if we believe in the whole fawn fairy world, if that's the theory that we believe, then yes. But if we believe that it was all a vision, then she just happened to get better at that time.
and then as soon as the mandrake goes away, she fucking bleeds out and dies.
Well, it wasn't immediately after.
It was almost immediately.
It was not immediately after.
Pretty close.
She got worse, and then like the night after, like she bled out.
Imagine. So she
But
puts
then
the mandrake under her
she
bed.
didn't even die after she bled out. That whole blood scene with like her like blood coming out of like her like crotch area, signifying like a miscarriage. Like that whole scene that happened, and then like there was like a whole like other like time passed, and then she gave birth. So like it's not as if like it was immediately after.
No.
But her condition definitely deteriorated after that scene.
Okay.
I will say that.
There was a part where as soon as Ophelia put the mandrake under the bed,
Yes.
the doctor comes in with the captain while she's under the bed, don't even know she's there.
Yeah.
And then they check. It's like, I don't understand. Her fever's gone, but her temperature is not down.
Yeah.
Her temperature's still high, but she's fine.
Hmm.
Immediately after, she put the mandrake in a bowl of hot, warm milk.
Hmm.
A little weird. The mandrake actually is weird. A lot of these things that are used remind me of Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, no, definitely the mandrake is reminiscent of Harry Potter, 100%. It's literally in Harry Potter.
Yeah, and I
Except
looked
they're
up.
screaming. In
Yeah,
Harry Potter.
I looked up mandrake, and like that's an actual like real fairy tale type of thing though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that. The mandrake, not a big thing about it, but it was just there. That's one thing we left off. But we can talk about the doctor now. If anybody else does.
No, the doctor's a hero.
Mhm.
He's definitely
Yes.
a hero. And
because he's working with the rebels
yeah,
while still helping.
when you
Mother.
think about it, he's like the only like positive male character in this movie. Like besides like the rebel guys who are like obviously the good guys, and like her brother, who's like, but her brother has like 2 lines in this movie. But the doctor, he is a more significant character in the plot, and he's like the only good guy. Because think about it, the other, there are only really 3 main male characters in this movie: the Fawn, the Captain, and the Doctor. The Fawn and the Captain, like the Fawn at best is shady.
Mm-hmm.
The Captain is like he's a monster, and like both the Fawn and the Captain, all they do is yell at Ophelia and give her orders.
Mm-hmm.
Like they literally just give her orders, and she either obeys or doesn't obey. And like obviously the captain is like completely like fascist in his parenting style, if you could even call it a parenting style.
Well, definitely not. She said that he didn't care about her at all.
Exactly. Yeah, he's an
He
awful
said
father.
straight to her face, like, I don't care about you. Or your mother. I want my son.
Yeah.
Even afterwards, he didn't
So
care.
like he's an awful influence. He's an awful male influence. And the Fawn too, like in the beginning, she is like enraptured by his like fairiness and all that, and how like, oh, you're gonna be a princess, and she's all caught up in that. And then he just like he gets really, really upset after she like eats the grapes and like gets 2 of her fairies killed. And like he completely freaks out, and he's like, "You're done. Like princess is no more. Like you can't be princess anymore." And then he comes back later and he's like, "Ah, you know what? I was just kidding. You got one more chance." Like it's super toxic relationship. Like what? I didn't understand why he came back and said that. I'm like,
yeah, I'm just kidding.
I was
we're all good.
yeah. So like the only really positive male character in this movie is the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And he fucking dies. Like I just think that's so sad.
All because, hey, this medicine that probably is the same everywhere.
Yeah.
You have the same medicine in your bag.
I thought that was so dumb. Like
Convoluted.
but I understand that like, yeah, he has to do some things to make the story move forward, and
He meets his code. Like, nope, you're the guy with the medicine. You're the only guy who lives within the vicinity.
I can accept that though.
Mm.
I can accept that kind of contrivance. Like I feel like this movie is not too concerned with like having everything fall in line in terms of like screenwriting, like perfection. Like they're not too interested in doing that for this movie.
Do you?
So, yeah.
Do you think had he not killed the doctor, that the mother would have stayed alive, and not he wouldn't have had to use his medical enlisted
Yeah, get Doc over here.
doc over here?
I'll give her some Advil. She'll be fine in the morning.
I gave the baby some 5 ibuprofen, to make him feel better. Don't worry, he'll be all right. He's only literally 14 seconds old.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think I still think the story demanded the mother die. I feel like the story wanted the mother to die.
Yeah, I think because at this point, I mean, now, hey, Ophelia, what do you have to live for now? To be honest, like,
yeah,
your father's gone.
Your dad's been dead.
Your
Your mom's
gone.
dead. She has
her brother.
She has a brother. There it is. Boom.
And she did try to save her brother from him. She wanted to bring
Yes.
the brother with him.
Absolutely.
No, but now your brother is now you're dead. I feel as though we covered, like,
I don't know what else to say about the doctor. What else is there?
I don't know.
you
I
wanna
don't think there's anything else.
talked-
Jonah,
do
you
you
have anything?
I don't think so. We covered pretty much all bases with this.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, then I guess we can go around.
Okay, yeah. We'll go around. We'll start with Murphy's pick. Let's start with Murphy.
So
Fucking Zach.
all in all, this movie, I first watched it in 2010 with my uncle and my aunt.
Yeah.
I'd go to their house and I would just, I'd watch their, my cousin when she was like, whatever, backstory, stupid. And we first watched it because he had it on DVD, and I was like, let's look it up. And they said, I looked it up myself. I said, this is the Spanish Alice in Wonderland. Okay. And it was. Based on just loving Guillermo Del Toro stuff, him maintaining his ongoing motif of, of darkness and just the rough itself. And given the time, the year it was made, and what they still did with it to make it look decent, to be honest, I would give it like a 7.5. I think a 7.5 is high, and I'm not saying, but I still love the movie a lot.
What you said about like during its time, like 2006, I think it's really important because I feel like when this movie first came out, it blew everyone's minds with like the concept of like this fanciful world and the way Guillermo brought this world to life. Like it was a very specific type of violence, a very specific type of fairy tale-ness, a very specific kind of like I guess story. And an interesting mix of like reality and fantasy, and it was completely original. And when it first came out, I like there was no way it was not going to make waves. So like I think the timeliness of it is a very interesting thing to bring up.
All right, so then we can go. What is your review and rating?
Yeah, since I'm talking about it already. So I right off the bat, I'm gonna give it a 7, and here's why. So what I previously said about like its world, its like the way he brought these concepts to life, the art, the craziness of the monsters, like that's all fucking amazing. And like this fantasy world, like it is so easy to just dive into and just be like, I'm here and fucking show me more, please. That said, I feel like the main character is such a bummer. Like I personally cannot stand Ophelia, and I just don't like her. And oh man, I tried really hard to like her, but there's certain things that obviously eating the grape, the fact that she's just not interesting, like her and her dress and like her not reading the room. Like I understand she's a child, but she's also 11. She's not like a tiny child. She has somewhat she should have somewhat of a concept of like social etiquette and understanding like you can't be that stupid at 11 in World War II. Like I feel like that doesn't make sense to me. And might be the actor, it might be the writing. I don't know what it is, but I just could not get into Ophelia. Everything around Ophelia is fucking perfect. The captain, perfect. Mercedes, chef's kiss. The mom, I hate her, but the movie wants me to hate her. So like that's fine. Like the movie is doing that on purpose. I can understand that. I could kind of see the ending. Like I could kind of see where the story was going. So it wasn't necessarily narratively a surprise to me, but I was along for the ride, and I liked it. And I feel like I have this score with Guillermo Del Toro's movies a lot. Like I like a lot of the fluff around it, but like some of the more important bones of his movies, I am just not completely bought into, and I tend to give his scores like in the C area range. So I'm gonna call this a 7.0 for me.
All right, Jonah.
All right, so this is I think my favorite Del Toro movie now.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like hearing that. I do.
I went into it, not really knowing anything about it. A buddy of mine recommended to me like years ago, and he brought up the scene with the beer bottle, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a real brutal scene in like the first like 15 minutes." And I'm like, "Oh, that sounds like I just don't, I heard about it. I'm like, I just don't want to get into that right now." But no, watching the movie and not realizing it's not a bar fight, throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because you assume it's.
Yeah, I assume it's gonna get like
It's a guy gets a bottle in his face every 5 seconds.
yeah, it's gonna be like Roadhouse meets Shrek or something. And, I liked it a lot. I thought it showed that not all fairy tales have to be
Disney.
Yeah, Disney.
Yeah,
And
I do appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, that was nice. in that she, the character, Ophelia,
Yeah.
had to realize that all fairy tales aren't Disney. They are not all, whimsical, and she had to realize, like, oh, these are just as real life is, and there's some messy stuff in fairy tales too.
Yeah. Like fairies getting their heads bitten off.
Like it's not all the stuff you read in books.
Mm.
I'm gonna rate it a solid 8. I enjoyed the movie a lot.
Nice. I just really want to say about that scene with the rabbit hunters, the moment where he takes out his gun to shoot the grandpa, and the guy that was holding the grandpa, he just steps to the side, and I just
saw it coming. He's like,
I thought that was so funny. I thought that shit was hilarious.
I was also thinking, is this guy
I was
gonna
like,
get shot too?
I was like,
are you gonna move, buddy?
because like the way the scene was happening, I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna shoot this guy. Like you can tell it's about to
That
happen.
would be collateral damage.
And then I'm like, what's gonna happen to the guy that's holding him? Because he's like right behind him, and I was thinking, oh, is it gonna be like the bullets don't go through his body? Like, is that where this
Those
like is
damn
the movie gonna
bullets
suspend my
definitely.
belief in that direction?
Those damn
No,
Lugers, I
he's
swear
like,
to God.
shit, it's coming. Just steps away, and like the guy just get blasted.
He's probably thinking, it's a Luger. It ain't gonna go through me. Those things can't even shoot.
It's 9mm. It's not full metal jacket. It's hollow point. Did it even have hollow points back then?
I'm not a gun connoisseur.
Yeah, I'm not a.
Never mind. Forget it.
I'm not from Alabama, right? So wait.
Sorry. You talked about that scene again, and then I remembered that scene's great. I love that scene. It's awful, but I love it. The beer bottle scene. All right. Yeah, I guess we could. Let's talk about the next episode. I believe Jonah is going to take that away for us.
Yep. So we ended Pan's Labyrinth on a Burnaflick score of 7.5.
7.5.
7.5.
All right, next movie. So this is playing in select theaters.
Okay.
It's not everywhere, but it is also everything, everywhere, all at once.
I like that. That
Yes.
was good. I didn't expect you to go there, but you did. Love it.
Yeah, it's starring Michelle Yeoh.
I'm looking forward to see this.
Yeah, this is
Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, I'm pretty sure.
yeah
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
James Wong as well.
James Wong is in it?
Oh.
He's in a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Who's James Wong?
James Wong. I don't want to say. The duck from Kung Fu Panda. That was the first. That was the first role that came to mind. But he's in tons of stuff. Big
okay.
Trouble, Little China,
Balls of Fury.
Balls of Fury.
Oh.
He played the blind Chinese guy.
Huh.
The
Yeah.
original Blade Runner. He has a small role.
How do you know this?
I hate
You
Blade.
big James Wong guy?
He's
Okay.
he's distinct. He's in tons of things.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff.
All right.
Well, beside that, everything, everywhere, all at once. Select theaters. I honestly don't know too much about it
Me neither.
Other than it's a multiversal. It's hopping on. I don't know if it's hopping on the same bandwagon as every other franchise now, but it's supposed to be different. It's
Okay.
supposed to be something new, something fresh, something that we
Yeah.
haven't probably seen in the cinema since probably The Matrix, because The Matrix was
Oh
revolutionary.
yeah, for sure.
But now it's like every other movies that they like The Matrix, so it's gonna be.
I think this is the first movie on the podcast that we are going to be doing that is a new release, right?
Mhm.
I mean, technically, Nightmare Alley is kind of but Nightmare Alley, they
the
came out
Batman.
months ago, so that doesn't really
That
count.
was a while back.
Yeah.
We did technically do the Batman 2 weeks after.
Oh wait, I forgot about
Yeah,
the
the
Batman.
Batman.
Never mind, Batman. Forget
This
it.
is our second new
Second.
release.
Second new release.
But yeah, we're gonna watch the hell out of this movie. It just looks so good.
Yeah.
Because we talked about it. Jonah said it's original.
Yeah.
It's an original movie, and I love it. But anyway, if you wanna, who wants to bring us out here?
What? Bring what out?
We're bringing it out.
We're
Tune
bringing
in
it-
next week, and we'll talk about everything, everywhere, all at once.
Cool. Sounds
Bye,
good.
guys.
Flick